Hello and welcome to my channel, everybody. Today I wanted to show you my Charms Extra Credit to be read list. And so to tell you a little bit about the backstory, a few weeks ago I saw that G from Book Roast had recently uploaded a video, so I immediately went to watch it. And I literally started jumping up and down as I was watching it, because she announced that instead of having to wait until April to sit our OWL exams, we could take some extra credit in Charms, and by doing so get ahead a little bit, so that instead of having to start the OWLs in, I believe it's the 2nd of April, depending on how many books we'd read during this extra credit readathon, we could start our OWLs in Charms a little bit earlier. And I absolutely jumped at the chance to do this, because I'd been so upset that I completely missed the OWLs this year and the Newts. And I was kind of getting a little bit sad that I would have to wait until spring to do any kind of magical readathon things. And then here we go. So there are 5 challenges, because there are 5 charms that you can pick from. And since I generally only read about 5 books in a month, and this readathon is only a week long, I decided that maybe 5 might be pushing it a little. However, I decided to try and go for 4. So these are the charms that I'll be trying to tackle during the Charms Extra Credit Readathon. For the challenge of Alohomora, I'm going to read the first book in a series. And for this challenge, I picked Descender Volume 1, which is a graphic novel that I don't know a lot about. All I know about the story is that it follows an artificial intelligence, a robot, something like that, who lives in a world where AIs have been outlawed, something along these lines. It sounded really interesting, but I'm not entirely sure what the story was. But AI, moral questions about that, should we have them, should we outlaw them, things like that, sounded really, really fascinating. So I'm really, really looking forward to getting this. I actually already ordered it, and it should have actually already arrived, but somehow it got lost in the post. So I'm still waiting for it. It should definitely arrive before the readathon starts on the 8th of October. Next up, I'm going to try to do the Accio or Accio spell, for which the challenge is to read the book on top of your TBR. And so for this one, I picked Jodi Picoult's most recent book, which actually comes out on the day that I'm filming this, which is called A Spark of Light. And so, as all of Jodi Picoult's books, it has this kind of moral dilemma in it. And as far as I know, the story is set in a sexual health or abortion clinic, and something along the lines of there is someone taking hostages in this abortion clinic. That's about all I know about the story. However, I've read literally all of Jodi Picoult's books, and I've always loved them, so I'm sure that I would absolutely adore this book as well. And again, I tried to order it, but unfortunately, because the book only comes out on the 2nd of October, the physical copy wouldn't actually get to me until I think the 16th of October, at which point the readathon is already over. So I'm going to have to read this as an ebook, which is fine by me. It also means that I can read it much more easily while I'm on the go. I'm also going to try and tackle the Rictus Semper spell, which has the challenge to read a book that tickles you the right way, whatever that means. So for me, I'm interpreting this as something that I've been really wanting to read recently, which is spooky, autumnal, Halloween-y kind of books. And the book that I chose for this challenge is A City of Ghosts by Schwab, which again, I don't know a lot about, but I saw it on my local Overdrive, so I'm going to listen to it as an audiobook. And as far as I know, it follows a girl who actually sees ghosts, and her parents are ghost hunters or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but it sounded a little bit spooky, a little bit, kind of right up my alley in terms of not being horrifically terrifying horror, but just the nice level of creepy, spooky, autumnal kind of thing. So yes. And last up, I'm going to try to do Lumos, which has the challenge to pick a book with a light cover. And for this one, I picked Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, which effectively has a pretty much black and white, but mostly white cover, and is a non-fiction book about why the author is no longer talking to white people about race. And so I've been really wanting to read this book for quite a while, because I think it's such an important topic. However, it was only really recently that I actually picked it up, again as an ebook, and I think it's I'm really excited about reading this because I think it's really important, particularly for people who don't necessarily experience the racism by themselves, to be educated about this. And so I'm really curious about reading this one during the challenge. So I think overall I'm planning to read something like 1,000 pages during these 7 days of the readathon, which sounds a little bit daunting. But given that one of them is an audiobook and one is a graphic novel, and the other 2 books that I'm reading as ebooks also sound really interesting, I think I can do this. I'll also be doing some vlogging of how I'm progressing throughout the week, so stay tuned for that. Alright, until next time, bye!